Good morning. I hope everyone's doing well this morning. Today, we're going to actually talk about going into retirement and only having a single income. So, there may be situations where women have never married, maybe they're divorced, or they've entered into widowhood, and now they need to prepare for retirement, and there's only one source of income coming in. Well, I shouldn't say one source of income. I'm going to say dependent income, just dependent on one individual. So let's talk about that. And I'm going to talk about 4 different tips that we can follow along with. First of all, the average retirement age for women is age 66. And the success ratio is very high when they are part of a married couple. The success ratio goes down to about 51% for unmarried women. And what I mean by that is that they haven't necessarily prepared as well as they could, and they're finding that they're running into some difficulties as they're moving forward into retirement. So, my first tip would be to have a plan. And, when we start looking at retirement and the fact that the life expectancy has continued to grow, if you retire at age 66, odds are good that you could live another 20, maybe even 30 more years. So having that plan in place and understanding where income is going to come from, what your expenses are going to look like, that type of thing is going to be very crucial. And it's not waiting until you're age 66 or you've approached that retirement. It needs to start earlier because the opportunities that you can have when you're younger and be able to save could be very phenomenal. We talk about on other videos about the compounding value when you have money that you're saving and it's compounding and you're investing it. The longer that you have that opportunity, the much greater your success will be. Now, the Department of Labor recommends that retirees prepare to live on 70 to 90% of their pre-retirement income in order to maintain their current standard of living. So 70 to 90%. Now, that doesn't mean 70 to 90% of your gross income. It's your take-home pay. And I always like to bring this up because what I have found, and I've been doing this for 32 plus years now, is that a majority, and I'm going to say in the 90 percentile of my clients have spent more than 70 to 90%, especially in the early years of retirement. Why? You now have time. You have time to go shopping. You have time to go out to lunch. You have time to spend with the grandkids and doing events and taking them places that you didn't have those opportunities while you were working. So you are naturally spending more money. There's more time to go on vacations. I have had a few clients, don't get me wrong, that over the years, what's important to them during retirement was spending more time reading or gardening or the upkeep of the house, that type of thing. But for the most part, especially those early years when you are young and you are healthy and you just want to get out there and enjoy life. So be realistic when it comes to that. But then what happens is we go through a little bit of a lull where maybe traveling isn't as much and things are slowing down. But unfortunately, then the cost of medical care starts to go up. And those out-of-pocket expenses, whether it's paying for drugs or if prescription drugs, excuse me, or it's just seeing the doctor on a more regular basis, those types of things. But we do see it switching from spending it on activities and discretionary type of expenses to more healthcare expenses. So it's important to understand that and really look at your situation individually. Along the lines of medical insurance, so my second tip is dealing with long-term care. Now, this has been discussed long-term care insurance came out in one of the early years of me starting in this industry. So I can remember going to a conference and somebody was standing up and talking about these policies that they were coming out with that people could purchase to help to cover costs for long-term care. Well, I've watched the whole industry go through a major cycle. And what happened with these policies when they originally put them out was they did not price them well. And so for individuals, especially in the baby boomer phase, which we are now seeing are utilizing these resources, that they, meaning the insurance companies, did not build up enough resources and reserves in their pockets for the amount of benefits that they're going to have to pay out. And so they're going back to individuals who have policies and they're raising their premiums pretty significantly. Now, I can only hope that new policies that are coming out on the market right now are better priced and they're taking these things into consideration. But one thing that many people don't know, when it comes to long-term care, they can't just raise an individual's premium. They actually have to raise the premium across a class of insured. So they may say, okay, for any women that are age 55 to 60, we are going to increase their premium by 10% this year and 10% next year. I've seen some clients that their premiums have doubled from what they originally purchased it. But when you're in the program, it's really hard to ever stop making the premium payments because you have that goal in mind and you've already committed and dedicated funds towards it. So it becomes a little challenging. The other thing in regard to long-term care is to take a look at some of your assets and see if you might be able to take advantage of them to help pay for long-term care. Now, that might be investable assets. It might be real estate. It might be annuities, something along those lines. So take that all into consideration. I've actually been spending a lot of time in the past month having discussions with professionals around reverse mortgages and being an alternative for long-term care cost. So if that's something you'd like to learn more about, I know at first when they came out, they were kind of scary and people didn't understand what they were. They have really come full circle though, and I do see them as being a product that's an option. I'm not saying it's good and fits for everyone's situation, but if you've got the equity in your house, you might want to take advantage of something along those lines. The third tip is in regard to Social Security, and I know I've done a few videos in regard to Social Security, so I'm sure at this point you all understand that the benefit of leaving Social Security benefit alone and letting it grow as long as you possibly can enhances the benefit that you receive today as well as the benefit you're going to receive in the future. Just as a reminder, with retirement, you can actually start taking Social Security at age 62 if you're fully retired or if you're working part-time. And the reason I bring this up is because once you make over a certain dollar amount, your Social Security benefits start to be penalized. First of all, they're reduced because you're taking it prior to your full retirement age. But secondly, if you've got income over a certain level, it can actually bring the benefit down further. And if you're working full-time, I don't ever recommend that the benefit be taken. So at 62, you've got that option. Now, they have changed what they consider to be the full retirement age. It used to be everyone fell into this class at age 65, but they have incrementally increased that. So now anyone born after 1960, your full retirement age is 67. So that's important to understand as well. What does that mean, full retirement age? That means that at that point, you can actually earn as much money as you wish, and it will not affect your Social Security benefits. So if you are collecting and you get a job and you're making $40,000 a year, it's not going to have any effect on that benefit if you're over your full retirement age. Now, between the time of your full retirement age and age 70, this is a little known fact that the Social Security benefit actually increases by 8% per year. So if you have other resources to live off of, you have other income sources to live off of, leaving your Social Security benefit alone as long as you might possibly be able to can be very beneficial. It can also be beneficial if you're looking at doing any type of a Roth conversion because Social Security is taxable on the federal level depending upon what your income level is. So I'm not going to get into all of that, but just remember, so if you take the benefit prior to your full retirement age, And everybody's a little bit different, but like I said, anybody after 1960, now at full retirement age is 67, just know that your benefit can be reduced. And they've got a formula that calculates that for you. So the longer that you can wait, the larger your benefit will be. And that will compound as time goes on in each year that it goes up. Actually, just to share with you too, they've announced the news, and they're going to come out in November and tell us exactly what the increase is going to be in Social Security for 2022 for those receiving benefits. But there's a lot of talk about it being around a 6% increase, which we have not seen, I'm going to say, in decades. I can't even remember the last time I saw it that high. So for individuals who are collecting, it's going to be a pretty nice jump up, although some may argue it's not necessarily keeping up with the cost of inflation, as we know. So, okay, fourth tip, build a network of friends and acquaintances. And you might say, well, Diane, what does that do? What does that have to do with financial stability? Actually, the frame of mind by having a good network of family, of friends, of acquaintances, of things to do on a day-to-day basis can be great from a psychological standpoint. And believe it or not, when it comes to money and psychology, they tend to go hand in hand. So, look at joining clubs, be part of a book club, maybe attend local events. I know one of the things that's become very popular around the Pittsburgh area has been outdoor concerts, free outdoor concerts. If you look really hard, I can think of two, one on Thursday nights and one on Sunday nights without even, digging any deeper, that people can attend during the summertime. So those types of things, maybe going to the museum, become involved in a new hobby, or take a look at some of the community colleges and see if they're offering courses on something you always wanted to learn about. So those are just some tips as far as entering in retirement, having that single income. But planning is the biggest tip. And, I'm always here to help you, to answer any of your questions. If I don't have the answers, I'm always happy to refer you to somebody that I think might have the right answer for you. I appreciate you joining me today. Hopefully you found some of this of value. And please feel free, if you would like, to invite any of your friends, family members that might find value in this information as well. If you have any questions, give me a call at 412-346-4655. Send me an email at diane@pearsonfinancialplanning.com or a direct message right here through Facebook. As always, thank you for joining me. Have a great day.